What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have something a little bit different for you guys. As many of you are probably aware, the channel has a Discord server, which if you are not aware, please consider joining today. I'll have a link to it in the description, as there always is. And the Discord has a lot of people that like to talk and post stuff. And there is one specific channel that I have that is specifically for dwarf drip. And this is basically where people can post images of the way that they have their characters kitted out. And I thought it would be fun to go through and look at some of the things that people have put together for their dwarves to make them look as fashionable as humanly possible. Because there's a lot of different armors and color palettes and things like that that allow for a lot of creative customization. So I wanted to see what kind of stuff that my viewers have put together. I'm not going to be going in any sort of specific order or anything. I just picked a couple that look really cool that I haven't seen yet, and I guess I'll rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 on how creative and cool I think they are. And if you guys want your dwarf drip to be featured, maybe I'll do another video like this in the future, so be sure to post them in the dwarf drip channel of the Discord, and be sure to join the Discord if you have not yet. And while you're at it, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that way you never miss another upload. So first up, we have somebody with their gunner, and they are going for a very sort of techie robot type look for this. It's actually looked pretty cool at first glance. And when I look at this, the first thing I think of, and I know I've mentioned this a lot of times on the channel, but if anybody knows Warhammer 40K, this kind of reminds me of the Tau almost. It's like a rusted, ancient, like war-torn Tau that has seen some combat, and it kind of has that vibe going on. So I really kind of like this one. Now, I will say that I do think it is a little bit cheating to use the helmets that completely cover the face, because those kind of always look good almost. It's kind of hard to mess up those particular helmets. So I do kind of have to take a little bit of a point off for that. But overall, I do really like the way that this looks. And again, I like that sort of techie robotic look that you're going for with this. So overall, I probably get this one, like a solid 3.5 out of 5. Pretty good, a little bit basic, but I also like where you're going with this. So next we have what looks like another gunner as a cosplay of the Adoring Fan from Oblivion. Now, I am kind of torn between this because on one hand, this is a really good cosplay. I think you nailed the look of the Adoring Fan pretty darn well. But on the other hand, I absolutely despise the Adoring Fan. He's like one of the most annoying characters in Oblivion. I know he's designed that way on purpose, but I just cannot stand him. But overall, I think you did a pretty good job of capturing his overall level of annoyance. Like, I am annoyed looking at this character because it looks so much like him. So I guess in that sense, you did a pretty good job with it. I think you picked a really good armor set. It's very slim. It's not one of the bulkier ones. There's not a whole lot of armor sets that are very slim like this. So I think you did a pretty good job of picking that. You probably could have gone for a little bit of a different color scheme instead of the green one that you picked. He has a little bit darker of a color scheme going on. So I feel like you probably could have picked a little bit of a different one. But other than that, it just looks pretty good. Probably give this one, I would give this one a 4 out of 5. But just because it's the Adoring Fan, I'm going to give it a 3. But overall, it is pretty darn good. So next up, we have another person doing a sort of robotic, techie sort of cosplay. This one looks a little bit more like a space trooper type thing. It's using the same helmet as the one we saw before, but has a little bit of a different color scheme, is going for a little bit of a different sort of style with it. And again, I kind of like this. Again, it's a little bit of a cheat to use the full cover helmets because, again, they just look really, really good no matter what you put them on. I like this color scheme a lot. This is the color scheme I use on my engineer, and I think it looks really, really good. It has that nice mix of like dark greenish and also reddish tones that the engineer is known for, and it's nothing really too fancy, but also just very clean. Again, it has that nice space trooper sort of feel to it, which I feel you could very easily put together many different setups that have that sort of feel to it. And ultimately, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5 because, again, it is pretty safe. It's pretty basic, but it does look pretty good, I will say. So next we have yet another engineer, and this one looks very different from the other ones that we have seen so far. He definitely likes his purple. He definitely has a very standout appearance to it. We don't really see purple a whole lot in the Deep Rock color scheme a whole lot, so it's nice that we get to see a little bit of love going on to this particular color. And he definitely has a very unique setup. He's got the gold skin, he's got the jeweled beard, he's got the fancy hat. So ultimately he has that kind of bravado to him. This is the kind of guy that would go into the casino and he goes to the blackjack table and he gets 21 every single time. Like, he's got that kind of luck going on. Like, he just walks in and you know he has this kind of presence. Now, I will say I have to take 1 point off for a major major issue, and that is because he is using the Scale Brigade armor. It's nothing against it, but Scale Brigade just looks too good. It's too easy to make Scale Brigade look good. You can put literally anything on Scale Brigade and it's going to look great. So I do have to take a little bit of a point off for that. But aside from that, this looks really nice and really unique compared to everything else that we've seen so far. So I'm going to give this one, I would give it honestly a 5 out of 5, but because it's Scale Brigade, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 5, just because you're playing a little bit too safe. If you try this with a different armor set, I think it would probably be really good. If you try this with maybe the Oktoberfest set, that would probably work a little bit better, but I don't think you can dye that one, so that wouldn't give you the purple that you really like. But overall, a very good design, and I like it. So now we have a scout, which I believe this is the first scout that we've seen so far, and they're playing it pretty safe with the biohazard setup with the armor and the gas mask. Pretty nice and clean design. I do think that the gun doesn't necessarily fit too well. It's a little bit too bright, a little bit too gilded, whereas you're definitely going for a more subtle, stealthy looking color scheme with what you have right now with this particular armor setup and helmet. So I would say maybe using a different color scheme on the gun would probably be the only real thing I would say. It's nothing really too fancy or standoutish about this one, but it is very clean. I do like the biohazard and containment suit style vibe that I'm seeing with this. This just brings you back to season 3 when everybody was using this essentially. So I'm probably going to give this one also a 3 out of 5, just because, again, it's really nice, but it's very safe and it's not doing anything super crazy. So next up, we have something that actually kind of confused me, because at first I thought I was looking at a gunner, but it turns out we're actually looking at a driller doing his best gunner cosplay. With the green, the military helmet, the kind of sort of boot campy type look we got going here. Honestly, with this, I am getting big Captain Price meets Nigel Thornberry type vibes. He's got the mustache, he's got the nose, like you're seeing kind of bits of both of them, which that kind of just makes this a lot more funny to me. I'm just picturing Nigel Thornberry going down into the drop pod, and it's just, I can't stop. I can't get that image out of my head now. Talking about it as an actual look though, this is very clean, very nice. It's kind of got that, like I said, that military type look going for it. Again, I thought this was a gunner when I first looked at it, but it's actually a driller, which is kind of hilarious. And I actually really like the fact that you put together a really good look without using a ridiculous beard, because obviously beards make everything better, but the fact that you were able to pull off a really nice look without using a big grandiose beard is pretty impressive. So I'll give this one probably like 4.5 stars out of 5. I think this is a pretty solid and clean one. Then we have something that I'm sure everybody has seen 1,000 times before, but it's never a bad thing to look at. We got somebody doing a classic Eggman engineer cosplay. You've seen it done 1,000 times. If anybody's played engineer or has even tried engineer for a little bit, chances are you've made yourself look like Eggman at some point in time. And this is just a very clean, good rendition of it. Pretty much any armor set could make an Eggman pretty well, but I think that this is probably the best one you could have picked because it's very techy, it's very robotic-y, which is on theme for Eggman. I think you probably could have chosen a little bit of a different color palette and it maybe would have gotten a better effect. I know you probably didn't plan on doing this, but the fact that you're using the stubby also kind of helps a bit because it's a very high-tech weapon. So in terms of nailing it, I think you did pretty well, but I will say you played it really, really safe because like I said before, Eggmans are kind of a dime a dozen, especially with the engineer. So if anything, I'm going to give this probably a 3.5 out of 5 because it's really good and it's well put together, but it's Eggman. We've seen this a lot of times before. So next up we have another gunner, and he decided to go with a different setup and backdrop for his picture, which I'm perfectly okay with, and I actually like this. And if I said that one of the last ones we looked at looked kind of like Captain Price, this looks exactly like Captain Price. He's just kind of missing the hat because pretty sure Captain Price has one of those like fisherman type hats. But other than that, he kind of nailed it. He's got the mustache. He's got the I'm done with everything look on his face. He's got that sort of military grizzled type look to him. Like this is a very clean look, and I do enjoy this a lot. I can feel the presence of this guy. He's no nonsense. He's there to kick butt and take names, and that's what he's about to do once he gets into the drop pod. So very solid setup. I'm going to give this probably a good 4 out of 5. I think you did pretty good. It's clean, it's simple, it's elegant, but it's effective. So then we have a couple of people who submitted multiple ones, but I think that a couple of the ones that they put are actually pretty good, so I do kind of want to look at both of them. First one we have here is what looks like a big game hunter who came across one of the most futuristic looking weapons in existence. And I can see this guy running around on some kind of safari in the middle of the African desert. And ultimately, this is just a very clean look. It's a nice outfit. The beard choice, I think, is very nice. I do think that it's a little bit bright, but other than that, it is very on point for what a scout likes to do. I feel like you could have gone for a little bit of a different body type if you were going for this sort of safari hunter type look. You probably could have gone with one of the other scout armor sets and it would have worked a little bit better. But for what you did put in, it is very unique looking, and I will probably give this also a solid 4 out of 5. And then their other submission was something of a very similar extent, which looks like an engineer that just has the most tropical jungle type look I've ever seen in my existence. This guy looks like he just came back from the Amazonian rainforest and has just seen some serious stuff. He's got the cut sleeves. He's got the sort of jungle type look to him. Honestly, this looks pretty solid, not gonna lie. And I love the hat as well. What's crazy is I also feel like I'm looking at a gunner when looking at this, but it's an engineer, which is kind of crazy. This looks like the kind of look that somebody would put on a gunner class, but instead you put this on an engineer, which is very impressive. So again, I'm probably going to give this one a solid 4 out of 5 because it looks really, really nice. And it's also very unique because you don't really see too many engineers kitted out this way. And then the last person also did put in a couple of submissions, and I did like 2 of them very much. So first one we have here is this guy who just looks insanely grizzled. This scout has seen some stuff. In fact, I swear I have seen this guy somewhere in a game before. I don't know where. I don't know how I've seen it. I don't know where I've seen it. But I swear this guy exists somewhere in some game. I feel like he's probably like a Metal Gear Solid character or something that I just never seen because I personally haven't played the series. But I feel like I've seen him before. He's like some sort of... He's that grizzled old character that you see that just knows how to just mess things up. Outside of that, the design is really, really cool. It feels like this is a grizzled scout who has seen a lot of combat. I think the color palette is a good choice. I think the weapon colors are a good choice. The beard and mustache combo is a very well put together choice. Honestly, this is, I think this might be a 5 out of 5 if I'm being honest with you guys. This looks really, really good. I really like pretty much everything that this particular outfit is putting together. It's simple, it's effective, and it just looks incredibly badass, for lack of a better term. And if I saw this scout join my team, I would be pretty well convinced that we were going to clear the mission easily. And then the last submission from the same person gave us this phenomenal looking engineer who, there's a lot going on with this one. It's like Guy Fieri meets mad scientist meets just all kinds of crazy stuff going on here. You know what this guy reminds me of? Who was that professor from Harry Potter? The short one with the white beard. I forget exactly what he taught, but he was a shorter guy and he had a white beard. I cannot remember. Hold on. I got to look this up now. This is going to absolutely destroy me. Flitwick. That's who it was. It was Flitwick. He reminds me a lot of Flitwick. He has that huge beard, that huge mustache, and he also has that mad scientist type vibe, which I always thought whenever I saw him. And it's just, this is a very unique design I've seen for an engineer, and I think the hot rod flames on the shotgun just kind of make it even better. Honestly, I think this is another 5 out of 5. This is great. This person's been killing it. Just everything from the Hawaiian shirt to the boots to the flames on the gun to the absolutely excessive facial hair. Everything about this skin I absolutely adore. So that is 2 5 out of 5s, both from the same person actually. So congratulations, you have successfully beaten this particular video. And with that, I think that is all the drip and dwarf cosmetics we are going to look at today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a little bit different than what I normally like to do. And if you want a chance to see your drip be featured in another video like this, I might do something like this again down in the future. And if you want to be a part of it, be sure to go check out the description and go check out the Discord and post the pictures of your dwarf with their fabulous drip in the Dwarf Drip channel. And I will be sure to look at them whenever I get the chance. But I hope you guys liked this. I hope you enjoyed this particular type of content. If you want to see more funny sort of social stuff like this, let me know down in the comments. And I want to give back to you guys and show you guys how much I really appreciate you, because as of the making of this video, we are incredibly close to 20,000 subscribers, and I want to show my appreciation and respect for you guys for helping me get this far. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. And as always, I hope you guys found this video entertaining. If you did, please be sure to let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe, and consider becoming a member today, as it really helps me out a lot. Rock and Stone Miners, I will see you in the next video.